Hey guys, today I'm doing an experiment. I made two dough balls with the exact same recipe other than the type of flour. First dough ball, I used my regular King Arthur bread flour, and the second one, I am using this Italian type 00 flour. I've used type 00 flour imported from Italy a lot, but only for making pizza napoletana. So that's how they do it over there. There's certain qualities and traits of that flour that we're going to talk about in a minute that you want when making pizza napoletana. I've never made New York style pizza out of that type 00 flour, so we're going to see what the difference is. Hey, I'm going to push pause here and do a voiceover edit. When I was editing the film, I realized I just spent way too much time going into way too much detail about different types of wheat and flour. Here's what I was trying to articulate in summary. The wheat in America is a different subspecies of wheat grown in Europe. The wheat in America is what they call a hard wheat. Hard wheat is more resistant to the cold winters that we have here, at least, in the plains and the parts of the country that the wheat is grown. And one of the attributes of hard wheat is that it has a higher protein content. The soft wheats grown in Europe have lower protein and a slightly different flavor than those grown in America. So when that comes down to pizza making, oh, and also Americans classify flour totally different than they do in Europe. This probably deserves a whole video on different types of flour and wheat between America and Europe. If anybody's interested, let me know in the comments and I'll do such a video. But for now, all you got to know is that the type of flour that is used in pizzerias in Europe is called the type 00. It's the most finely milled flour anywhere on the planet. And one of the, well, there's a couple of attributes they say that this type 00 flour has. Number one, they say it is very strong. The gluten bonds are very strong, cohesive. And then also they say that the dough, the crust is very resistant to heat, which suits pizza napoletana very well because the pizza ovens in Naples are close to 1,000 degrees Fahrenheit. I'm trying to learn three things from this experiment. Number one, I want to see if the taste really is that much different than American flour, American King Arthur flour. Number two, I want to see if the dough really is that much stronger or sticky, cohesive. I want to see the comparison and the consistency between the dough made with the type 00 flour and my King Arthur bread flour. And then number three, I want to see how the crust made from 00 flour reacts differently in the oven than the bread flour that I usually use. Okay, I'm going to start off with the bread flour first, what I'm used to. Oh yeah, I wanted to mention one more thing. I totally see how the 00 flour is more cohesive, more sticky, stronger. Because last night when I was making this dough, I started off with the KitchenAid making dough with the bread flour first. And I'm doing 65% hydration with this dough. And by the way, I'll put the recipe in the description. But at 65%, dough is going to be really sticky. And so when I took it out of the KitchenAid, it's sticking to the dough hook, it's sticking to the wall, it's sticking to my fingers. And I put it in a bowl to rest for about 45 minutes at room temperature. And then right after I did the bread flour dough ball in the KitchenAid, I did the one with the 00 flour. Exact same measurements, exact same everything. But when I took the dough ball out of the KitchenAid with the 00 flour, it was totally cohesive and it didn't stick to the hook, it didn't stick to my hands. In fact, there's a little bit of the dough from the bread flour left over in the bowl that was like sticking to the bowl, and the 00 flour dough ball actually like absorbed it all. It just stuck to it. And so it's very, very interesting to see that. I totally get it already how the 00 flour is supposed to be more stretchy and cohesive, stronger gluten bonds. So, all right, let's get started with the bread flour. So this one feels just like it always does, because I usually use King Arthur bread flour. It's really soft. It's going to have really good air in the rim. Strong. This dough never tears on me. All right. Oh, let me get the pizza peel. I've got the ingredients pre-measured. This is 75 grams of tomato sauce. '85 grams of mozzarella. Okay. The oven needs a couple more minutes. I'm gonna sign out. I'll check back in when it's up to about 620 degrees, and we'll go from there. Okay, we're at 640 degrees, so we're good to go. Okay, it's gonna bake for about 4 minutes to 4.5 minutes, and we'll check back then. Okay, we're getting close. It's been almost 4 minutes. It's tricky because there's really a small window where a pizza is cooked properly and burned or not cooked enough. I'm talking like 30 seconds or so. And it's kind of hard to see with this oven just because there's not a lot of space where the thing is, but it's looking really close. I'm looking at the cheese on top to see how many brown burn marks there are. I don't want many. I just want a couple. That's how I kind of know that it's done. Well, pretty good. You see these little brown marks. That's all I want. Usually my crust is a little bit more brown, but for some reason my oven here gets hotter some days than others, and today's one of those hot days. Usually the pan's going to be about 620 to 625 degrees, and now today it was 642 degrees. So whatever's going on, it's just a little off today, but that looks really good. It's definitely going to be a good pizza. So, oh yeah, here's the bottom. Okay, while that pizza's cooling down and while the oven is reheating, I'm going to shape out the pizza with the 00 flour. It definitely feels different. Feels a little more stretchy. Yeah, it's more stretchy. I can tell it's a little bit stronger. So for sure it's stronger. Hmm. Okay. Yeah, that's really strong though. Strong and stretchy for sure. It keeps wanting to like snap back into its regular shape. It's requiring a little more stretching, as you can tell. All right. Yeah, I think I might have shaped it out to be a tiny bit larger than the other one, just because it is that much more stretchy. It allowed me to without tearing. We'll do a side by side comparison shortly. All right, let me check the oven real quick. Now, it's a 607 right now. Like I said, for some reason this oven is a little bit amped up today. Usually it would take longer to get to that point, but let's just roll with it. I'm gonna wait till I get it back to about 640 like the other one. Okay, we're back. It's 634 degrees. That's probably close enough. So I'm gonna put the other pizza in. Okay, it's only been about 1 minute, but this pizza is doing weird stuff I've never seen before, so I wanted to show you. I don't know how well you can see it, but basically there's this huge bubble in the middle of the crust, and the rim is really bubbly. Lots and lots of pretty good sized bubbles. So that's it. Just an observation. I'm about ready to take this out. I just wanted to mention that I can smell the difference in this pizza as it's baking. I haven't made pizza napoletana for a long time, but now that I smell this, it just totally reminds me of that. So pretty interesting. Let's take a look. Yeah. Oops. A little bit of trouble there. Okay. So this is where that great big bubble was that I was pointing out. I don't know if you could see it or not, but it's died down. Um, the cheese is burned kind of right there where it was up elevated, and you can see the cheese on this part is not as cooked, but I think we're looking pretty good here. See the crust. Yeah, this is going to be a good pizza. Actually, I'm going to put it back in for about 15 more seconds. Okay, let's take a look. This is the one with the bread flour. This is the one with the 00 flour. They look pretty similar. Like I mentioned, the 00 flour actually had a different fragrance to it when it was baking, but they look pretty similar. They're actually about the exact same size. All right, let's cut them up, taste them. Okay, 00 flour here. Even though there's like air bubbles throughout, air pockets, it looks a little more dense than the bread flour, to be honest. I don't know. Not bad. It's still very lightweight. Mm. Yep. It's a very distinct taste in the crust. Mm. It's really good. I miss that flavor. So the crust is really really airy. Even though there's not the huge air pockets, it's airy inside. So like when I take a bite, the whole thing just kind of gets pushed, squeezed down. I don't know if you can tell. Boom. Like spongy almost. That's really good. Oh shoot! I just washed my pill. Let's try this one. So the consistency is almost the same, just a little bit more spongy in the 00 flour one. They're both very lightweight, both strong. You can kind of see that there's like just bigger air pockets inside the bread flour one. They're both very good. Just different flavor. Hmm. Oh, man. You know, they both work really well for New York style pizza. The rim is a little bit lighter on here. But for some reason, look, that's interesting. So this is the bread flour one. Look at the bottom. Now look at the bottom of this one. A little bit darker. See that? A little bit darker. I don't know why that is. Well, they're both really good. When it comes down to it, it's really just the 00 flour was a little bit more stretchy. The rim is a little bit more spongy. Although the bread flour seems to have larger air pockets. And the taste is just a little bit different. Both really good. I would say the 00 flour tastes better than 90% of American bread flour, but King Arthur has really great flavor. So the taste is, it's not the same, but it's still good in both. So all things considered, I'll probably keep using King Arthur flour just because it's a lot cheaper than importing the stuff from Italy. And I have seen some New York pizzerias use 00 flour in their New York style or New York style hybrid pizzas. And sometimes they'll do like a mix, 50-50 mixed bread flour and 00. I don't really know exactly what they're trying to accomplish there. Probably just make it sound better, trying to make it sound more exotic or something. But really, I thought this was going to be a lot better, the 00 flour. It wasn't. It's just a tiny bit. I wouldn't say it's better. It's just a little bit taste, a little bit different taste. It's good taste. But so is King Arthur. So that's that. You can see very comparable overall. Very comparable in color and size of the rim and crust, strength. You can't see the weight, but the weight is very similar. So that's that. Let me know what you think.